Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks. And yes, that is a mercenary tank, and yes, that is my garage, my own garage. It is a mercenary tank, and this is my guilty pleasure. I've been asked in a few of the comments that even though I'm not bothered about the mercenary tanks, just have a look at some of them. So I thought I'd oblige. And with the Brett Larson tanks going off in a few days, I think it's next week they go off. That's what it says in the store anyway. I thought I'd have a look at these first, and with the current batch of mercenary contracts, mostly from what I've seen, coming to an end again about the same time, I'm assuming that there might be some other contracts coming on next week. So I thought I'd stop. I thought I'd look at these first, and then I'd have a look at some of the tech tree ones if any new contracts come on next week, and if not, I'll have a look at what is there and just have a look through them. So yes, this is my guilty pleasure, Banana Buster. Now, I know there's been a lot. Or I've seen a few things about these Brett Larson tanks and about the way they look and everything else. And I know I've said before that I'm not bothered about the mercenary tanks. In fact, I think in one of my last videos I said that I was on about the original batch of them, that I was quite disappointed in them, that they played just like every other all the other tanks in the game. They were just too similar and what have you. And that was my view on the original batch. I've not had a proper look through some of the new ones, however. I've heard a few people mentioning Machine, the tier 10 one, so I've had a quick look at that, and that does interest me, I must admit. That really does interest me, so I might have to make an effort to get that one when it comes out. But anyway, Banana Buster, tier 7 heavy, premium for the mercenaries, comes with a crew with 2 skills on, Deadeye and repairs. I swapped Deadeye out straight away for 6th sense. I will put Deadeye back on at some point, but it is not a priority sort of skill for me. But yeah, this is my own garage. Yeah, this is my guilty little pleasure, and I must admit this is a very, very fun tank. And the reason I got it is because I've been in a few games with them, and like if I died for whatever reason, I sort of followed the Banana Buster to see how it did, because its configuration kind of intrigued me a little bit. And yeah, they were followed a couple that didn't do very well, followed others that did very well, and it looked quite fun. And I thought, sod it, I'm going to take the plunge and grab one, and I'm glad I did. It only plays up to tier 8, so it does have preferential. But yeah, regardless of what you think of the look of the tank, now the look of the tank really doesn't bother me one way or the other. I'm not bothered that it's in the game. I know some people hate it, other people like it. To me, it doesn't really bother me at all how the tank looks, because let's face it, when you're in a match, you're not really looking at your tank, are you? Well, I'm not anyway. I'm looking at where my aiming circle is. I'm looking at the map. I'm looking around the screen. I barely look at my actual tank, so that really doesn't bother me, but it is fun. So it's a Black Prince hull, as you can see. It's got the pre-buffed Centurion turret on it, so it's 152mm on the front, not the new buffed 252 or whatever it is, or 254, so it is the pre-buffed Centurion turret, but that gives it 10 degrees of gun depression. However, I don't know if it's the spikes on the front or if it's supposed to be the tracks, but you don't get the full gun depression where those spikes are. So you can over the front, you can over the sides, but you can't sort of on the angle. So you do have to be careful going up and over hills, but you do get minus 10 gun depression. And the gun is actually the gun from the Leo, the tier 7 Swedish medium. But it's got a slightly better rate of fire. And it's an interesting gun. I don't know if I'd have quite put they could have put the buffed Centurion turret on it and given it a bit more pen on the gun, but I don't know, it's alright as it is, I think. So yeah, as I was saying, they could have given it the buff turret and a bit more pen and not given it preferential, but yeah, there it is. So I'm not going to spend too long anyway on the armor profile and stuff like that, because the components are in the game already. The hull is already in the game, people are familiar with it. The turret is already in the game, or was in the game. People are familiar with it. I will have a quick look at the gun and a few other little bits that are different about it. But yeah, like I say, I have been having fun in it, top tier. So you get the 650 engine, which I think is if I remember right, is top engine on the Black Prince. I could be wrong on that one though, but I do know the Black Prince has had a buff to its 17-pounder as well. That's something I did notice. So 10cm can M34, which is, as I said, off the Leo. 5.83 rounds a minute, slightly better than the Leos. If I remember rightly, which I think is, I've just got out the Leo. I want to say 5.3, 5.5. Yeah, anyway. Regardless, I do remember this being slightly better. 2.7 second aiming time, which isn't bad. It works. 0.42 accuracy. And to be honest, the gun tends to behave. In my experience anyway, it does tend to behave and tends to sort of go on target more often than it misses, so I've been quite lucky with that so far, maybe. 155 pen, 300 damage, nice little chunk of damage, double what the Black Prince does with a 17 pounder, but obviously a lot less pen. 194 on your premium, as you can see, and 53 410 for your HE. Now the 194 on the premium, well, I'll mention a bit more of that over the gameplay. 22 degrees of hull traverse. The turret armor, as I said, is the pre-buffed one, so 152 on the front, 89 sides and rear. 36 degrees on the turret traverse, which is quite nice. Even if your hull can't quite keep up with something that's, you know, trying to circle you, your turret definitely can. Especially if you turn your hull as well. 380 meter view range, which is quite nice, workable, but average for the tier, to be honest. So there you go. Now, equipment wise, I've just gone for vertical stabilizer, gun ram and vents. Could have gone for coated optics, I just went for vents. I don't know, just decided to. No particular reason, I don't think. As I said, I did swap that skill out, did I, for Sixth Sense, and I'm also training up situational awareness, and I will probably put track mechanic on it as well at some point. Now, shell costs, they're not loads. 315 for your standard, 4400 for your APCR, and 300 for your HE. Armor profile, as I said, I'm not going to go into too much. Something I will mention though, the engine, the power to weight ratio is a lot better, and the top speed is a lot better than the Black Prince. And also, some of you may have noticed that there was another premium mercenary tank that I've seen in the premium tech tree called Boulder. This is basically the same tank but a lot faster. That has a power to weight ratio of about 9 horsepower per ton. This has 14.4 horsepower per ton power to weight ratio, which is, it does kind of make it crazy fast for a Black Prince, especially with a 30 km an hour top speed. The Black Prince has 20, so yeah, it's nice, and like I say, it's fun. Reverse is 12, 20% chance of fire, big old engine block in the back. I don't recall being set on fire in it yet, but you know, it's probably going to come at some point. You've got a decent amount of hit points at 1500 as well. Concealment, not great, but you know, what did you expect? 0.11 and 0.05. You can put camo on it, or clear camo, whatever you want to do. The gun, as I said before, oh no, sorry, it's not 10 degrees of gun depression. I do apologise, it's 8 degrees of gun depression, 20 of elevation. But even with that 8, it seems definitely workable. I've had no problems on ridge lines, and obviously that increases the effect on your turret. Terrain resistance 1.1, 1.4, 2.5, so not bad. Just try and avoid all this sludgy, horrible, wet stuff, because it will slow down a lot in swampy areas, a hell of a lot. We've already mentioned the turret. Radio is just in the bustle of the turret. Ammunition blocks, they're in the same place as they are in the Black Prince. However, there is a little surprise, I suppose, on the side of the tank with regards to their placement as well. Shell velocity isn't great on those shells though, but it is sort of I don't know, almost like a short 105. 785 meters a second, so not great, not the worst I've seen, but still could be better. But again, you know, you just got to adapt for the lead on that. Crew members, again, same place as they are on the sort of normal Black Prince in a way. Right, armor wise, again, I'm not going to spend loads on here. I'm just basically, you know, going on to it to show you where the spaced armor is, because again, this hull is in the game, this turret has been in the game for a long time, so you know, you're going to know roughly where to pen it. As you can see with the Centurion turret, very weak on the top there. You've got a small commander's hatch, but even the front of it at 152, there's a lot of tanks that can go through that, and sort of through the turret cheeks as well. And the Black Prince hull, same kind of armor profile, however, you can see there is extra spaced armor on the sides, which is, when I can get to it, there. That's all your sort of extra spaced armour that's been stuck on this, apart from the turret top, obviously, but you've got that X on the front, whatever that's for. You've got the sort of turbines, I suppose, on the sides, and then those panels stuck on the back as well. But I had a match. Oh, the spikes, sorry, yeah, the spikes are even spaced armour that you can see there, as is just on the front. You've got the sort of small panels there, and then the bigger square panel there. I mean, I just went full ball in my first match in this. I might try and stick the results screen up. I didn't actually save it, and just drove across a field, and I had a crafted panther shooting at the side of my tank, and it just kept getting eaten up by the spaced armour. It was crazy. And I mean, I wouldn't recommend that, but I just decided to have a bit of fun and see what it could actually do, you know, what its limits were. So yeah, it can be a bit trolly, some of that spaced armour on the side, but as I said, you know, that's all I think I want to spend on the armour profile with it already being there. So let's just get into the gameplay and see how it actually goes. Right, so here we are for the first of the replays. It's Ensk and it's a tier 8 match, and don't forget, you know, tier 8 is the worst you're going to get in this. Something I did forget to mention in the garage, it gets 30% extra silver bonus and 20% extra XP bonus. Now, as I said before, this can be really good fun, quite a beast when it's top tier, and it does work in tier 8 matches, but you just have to work harder in it. So I've put this one on, not the greatest match, not the worst match, just a nice, steady sort of tier 8 game. And another reason I didn't really cover the armour profile on the side and the rear of the hull, it's 152mm on the front, by the way, same as the Black Prince, is because they've changed the Tankopedia on the portal, so it doesn't actually have any hull armour figures, it just has a minimum and a maximum now, which is not particularly useful, unfortunately. It is always nice to know how thick your side armour is, even if it's, you know, not all of it. It's nice to know what your sort of thickest part is. It comes in handy when you're side scraping and, you know, trying to dodge shots and what have you, and knowing what you can and can't take in the side. But anyway, I'm going to push it down the field. Nobody else has. There's a medium tank. No, yeah, medium tank and a light tank coming down this way. I thought it'd come down this way as well. And as with the Black Prince, it is all about the angling. And something I'd try and get into the habit of possibly is trying to angle your hull to the right. And that's because of that extra plate on the front. You know, in the garage we saw that extra plate, and it's sort of, you know, it's, as you're looking at the tank, it's on the left hand side of the hull. As you're in it, it's on the right hand side. So obviously if you angle your hull to the right, part of your left track will cover part of your hull, and you know, it'll leave basically that thicker plate, that extra spaced armour exposed, rather than the thinnest plate on the other side, even though it's still 152mm. And also angling it as well, with the spikes on the front acting as spaced armour. Obviously, you know, it increases your chance of either shots getting eaten up, or it increases the chance of, you know, shots bouncing off your lower glacis as well. And but yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I wasn't bothered about any of the mercenary tanks, especially the first batch. I'd seen these. I didn't realise these were, you know, essentially reskins in a way of the existing mercenary premiums. Although, admittedly, this one does have that difference. So, you know, it is faster, power to weight ratio wise, and top speed wise. I mean, 10 kilometers an hour over the standard Black Prince. That's quite a difference. Especially on something as the, you know, like the Black Prince, where it was kind of balanced out. It's, you know, because it is a tough tank, especially top tier, and it's kind of balanced out by it being slow. But now it's a bit quicker. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those funny ones where when it's top tier, I could almost call OP on this tank. When it's in a tier 8 match, it doesn't feel OP at all. You know, it kind of feels balanced, even slightly at a disadvantage in some respects. Not armour-wise. I mean, I'm going up against this tier 8 TD. I'm not quite sure what gun he's got on, but I'm managing to block and bounce shots now, so... or they're getting eaten up by the spaced armour. But yeah, it is... I don't know. It is weird. It is a weird one. I think it's one of those tanks that just feels overpowered in certain situations. I think the match I'm going to use next is possibly one of those situations. It's a bit more fun and hopefully a bit more impressive. But I think it is one of those situations where you know, it is a tier 7 match. There's not many tier 7s in there, and the ones that are in there you don't have to really be worried about so much. And I think that's what it is with this tank. It's definitely in certain situations. You know, you can see, I mean, I've loaded premium and I was still struggling to pen the front of that thing. There are things that you're going to come up against in tier 8 that you will struggle greatly to pen the front of, even with your premium ammunition. And there's some other things that you might not even be able to pen at all frontally that you're going to come up against. I'm thinking, I don't think I've ever managed to pen. I mean, there's some tanks at tier 7 that can pen the tier 8 Japanese heavy. There's others that can't. This can't. Not that I've noticed. T28 prototype as well. I was bouncing off the Commander's Hatch at one. It was quite frustrating. Although I think, if I remember rightly, I don't know if they've taken it away or added it back in, the machine gun port on the front could be a weak spot, but that's something I'll have to check up on. Because they keep changing things. Like I think they added it, they took it away from the BK4502B, and then I think they brought the weak spot back on the front, and then I can't remember if they took it away again. So it's yeah, they do keep changing things somewhat, so it's something I'm going to have to check on. But not a bad match, nice little round. Didn't come top, but it was just a nice little tier 8 round, just to show you its sort of capabilities in a tier 8, and sort of, like I say, you do have to work a little bit harder in the tier 8 match, especially with the angling of your tank as well, and really aiming for weak spots. And this one, yeah, this is that sort of situation where it does kind of feel a little bit OP. Very good matchmaking, tier 7 match, and there's not really anything in here that I have to be particularly worried about. Now, I do sometimes tend to get a bit lazy, and yes, use auto aim occasionally. When I'm feeling a bit lazy in that last match, if I had not used it, I would have probably hit and killed the arty. But I don't know, it's a bad habit that I sort of keep dropping into every now and again, and then I get myself out of it, and then I sort of get lazy and drop back into it. And I think sometimes it depends on the tank that I'm in. Some tanks, I don't know, it's just, this kind of feels like a derp gun, even though it's not. You know, it's a proper tank gun. But I think sometimes you just kind of, with certain tanks, you kind of get a bit complacent and just think, yeah, bugger it, lock on. I mean, it's a bit different when you're close up and it's something that you just know, it doesn't matter where you hit it, you get a pen. It does kind of feel a little bit cheaty, but there you go. It is a bad habit I've got, and I try not to do it most of the time. But as you can see here, I've just come to this corner, I've angled, he's going to have a bad day. There we go. I actually ammo racked him, you find out at the end. So yeah, I've come to this corner, I'm just angled on the corner, and I don't really have to worry about anything being able to pen me at the moment. As I said, it is that weaker Centurion turret, so it is, well, I say it's weaker than the current one, it is weaker than the actual Black Prince turret as well. And it can be penned, and you know, it does get penned quite often, especially in tier 8 matches, you quite often get the turret penned. And as when this turret was on the original, you know, on the Centurion, before it got buffed, it does work better on ridge lines because of that sloped frontal part just above the gun mantle. That is quite weak, so obviously if you're using your gun depression, it increases the slope and it, you know, increases its effectiveness. But I'd say, I mean, if you're in a sort of same tier or lower tier tank that just simply can't, you just can't seem to get through the front of one of these, or you know you haven't got enough pen or whatever to get through the front of one of these, your best bet is, as with the Black Prince, still to try and track it and get around behind it. Do be careful though, because the turrets do turn deceptively quick on them. A lot of heavy tanks, then you know the turrets don't quite turn as fast as that. So I've always found the Black Prince turret sort of turns kind of, like I say, deceptively fast. And this one does the same as well. And if you're in one and something is trying to get around you and they've not tracked you, turn your hull and your turret as well, and your turret generally doesn't have any trouble keeping up with what's trying to get around you. But back to the match, and as you can see, we've kind of swept around that corner. Shot in the absolution, but I didn't hit him. And I'm just going to keep pushing forwards. I'm not going to sit there shooting, I'm going to just keep moving and pushing forwards. And when I'm doing stuff like that, that's when I tend to use my sort of auto aim a little bit, because I can still see around me. I'm probably not going to hit even if I aim, because, you know, I'm moving. So it is something I tend to do, mostly on the move. I had let go of the trigger there, but it still fired anyway. I don't know if anybody else ever gets that. Now with cruise skills on this, as I said, you know, I've got repairs at 6% at the moment. I'm going for situational awareness. I probably would recommend track mechanic on this as well, like I would on the Black Prince. You do get tracked a lot, especially when top tier. Obviously because, you know, there's a lot of tanks that you'll come up against when you are top tier that won't be able to pen you, so they'll try and track you. And Arty likes to try and rain down on these as well. So yeah, track mechanic and repairs is always a good one. And off-road driving I'd probably put on it, just to try and improve that wet ground capability, because it is very, very slow if you go over very soft ground. And another one I'd probably stick on there is clutch braking as well, just to improve that hull traverse slightly. And obviously, you know, brothers know how to get that in there as fast as you can. That just improves everything and makes everything a bit better. And again, as you can see here, I'm being a bit lazy with the auto aim, but I'm just trundling forwards. Just keep moving. That was a little cheeky one. But it is just a case of keep moving now, keep trying to get these shots in. Am I going to get the Panther? I did. He backed off behind that destructible wall. And I've got a, was that 1375 shooting at me and bouncing? That seemed quite quick. I don't know if he's from mine. It's been a while since I've been in 1375 and not since the light tank update, so I don't know, but it almost seemed like he got the, not the top gun on it with the rate of fire on that, even though it was an auto loader. You know, there's a second or two in between each shot. And now we've got a poor Churchill 1 and the 1375, and I am going to bully the Churchill 1. I'm going to just lock onto the 1375, fire as I go past. There we go. And then just bully the Churchill 1 because he has basically no hope of penning the front of me. And do I feel bad? Not really. I've probably had that done to me many times, being bullied by higher tier tanks. So no guilt, nothing, just sorry pal. Anyway, that's about it. A bit of a spoiler alert, but I don't unfortunately get up towards that Panther to do any more damage. I thought he might have backed off and tried to come down this way, but he doesn't, so I don't manage to get up there, and I don't manage to get anything else done before the end of the match. But as I said before, this is one of those situations where it does feel a bit OP. Very good matchmaking, and you know, you're going to see tier 7 matches more often than not in this with it having preferential, but sometimes there are a few things in there that you have to be worried about. But in a situation like this, there was nothing in it that really gave me any pause in this tank. And I just thought I'd show you that one, because it's just one of those games where you do just have fun in it, and you can just sort of kind of derp about a bit, and I know it sounds bad, but not really concentrate in a way, because you can fall back on that tank's armour quite well, and especially with the addition of that extra space on the front and you know, a little bit on the side as well. I don't know, it's just fun, and as I said, it's my guilty pleasure at the moment. But I will have a look at the other premium ones that are out at the moment, because they're going off soon, and I will have a look at the tech tree ones probably when the new batch comes on, hopefully in a week or two. So there you go. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. I know some of you aren't going to, because it's obviously a mercenary tank, and a lot of you are not very happy with them. But again, you know, the way I look at it is they're in the game. There's nothing we can do about it. You might as well just get on with it. You don't have to play them if you don't want to. And if you don't like them that much, just destroy them on the battlefield. But anyway, there you go. Hopefully we're back tomorrow with another video. So until then, take care out there, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.